This is
It's
done.
okay.
This is, make sure
I
all this.
need scars.
Okay, so AWS has started streaming. This is done. This is done. AWS. Okay, there you go. Abhishek is here. All right, we're already streaming. It should be streaming from here. No, I gotta do this. Not that.
Don't forget the DNI stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right, I already posted it to LinkedIn. But I don't have one for AWS. I need to get this up, but it's basically same thing, right? You know, we don't have any problem with this. Yada 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 yada. That's it. All right. So RTP AWS. Not even sure why I'm picking this up, but I'll put it up. Once again, we got the plan. If you're not in the, if you haven't done this yet, go ahead and do that. Okay, it's already over, so I need to take that off. Okay, whatever. All right, so let's try. So you're asking about the dev post thing. What I was trying to say is this thing is over. I'm still using Icy Bridge for this. It's got 9 days left. I don't really have much going on there, but I've been trying to recruit people. So in the Slack here, you know, I did a thing yesterday trying to say like how many people are interested in it. And so that's been started.
What's the theme, I guess, of this hackathon, the last one? I know it mentioned like there's some AWS, like the last one was really heavily focused on that SageMaker Studio Lab.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. This one was you had to do the stuff on SageMaker Studio. For it, okay, let me go back. RTP. And I told them that, right? Like I said, I started this for them. I think in terms of commits, the first commit was on January 10th. So I didn't even have 30 days to do it. And it looks like me and Adrian were the only two people who did commits. And it's a mess. There's a lot of stuff up there, but I tried to organize it. What was in place at the end of the day was you had the cameras, you had the 2 MVP websites that were in the correct domain and all that good stuff. We had the uploading of the images. We had the Sobel collision detection, label and images. But as far as what was SageMaker Studio, I think maybe this was SageMaker Studio. That's SageMaker, and this is this is recognition. No, this is SageMaker Studio Ground Truth, and I think that is whatever you call it. Sage. I don't even know, dude. I should have put names on these things. I just know that's Elastic Beanstalk. That's Lambda. I didn't show
you used recognition in there as well. That was the recognition piece on like a SageMaker Ground Truth.
Yeah. If we go to the AWS console, which is really what we're trying to get to. So I need to sign in. I'm signing in as administrator. So just by the icons, recognition. Actually, I can see it better here. So let me go back. The icons are small. So recognition is the looking glass. So that's recognition, and that makes sense because that was where I was trying to do the text. That must be ground truth. And SageMaker has that icon. What does ground truth look like? Do they show the icon? They don't even show the icon. But so this thing needs to be updated. There's like a million things that need to be updated. The new one, let's look at it. I can't even remember what it is. It's Tusami or something. No, Habana Galdi. Is that like a pepper or something? So we need a DL1 instance. So what I was going to say is let's go ahead and create it. It's in compute EC2. Dashboard. Did I hit EC2? I thought I hit EC2. Okay. Launch instance. All right. So we're looking for DL1. Is that what it was called? DL1. I was expecting at the top to have a DL1. Habana, maybe. Habana. Here we go. These are when you run them, and it's that they gave me, and I only got like $100. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right.
They said you could get an extra 200 if you show some progress.
yeah. If you put, so I got the 100. If I do more and like I do something that's a case by case, I could get an extra 100. But I hadn't even. I'm not even really prepped to use it at this point. I think it's this one.
Could we run that Jupyter notebook that I created for the last hackathon in one of these instances and train the model that way?
Yeah, but I can run mine as well, and so that's what I was going to do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So and what you could do is you could create a hackathon and run it. I could help you just like I helped you last time, but I'm still going to try to focus on this one. So I think it's this one. I don't see DL1 in there any place though.
I've sent a link from AWS tutorial. If you click on that, it has step by step on what to do.
They actually have it there. So
yeah, on the day post as well, I think. But then I just sent on chat.
Okay, I just pulled it up here. Let's see. Is it not this one? Launch a DL1. Launch a DL1 instance with a DL of your choice. And is that not this guy?
I mean, you just click on that; it'll take you directly to EC2 console with some filter. So. Okay, not here. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
All right. So it's taking me the same place.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a DL1 instance. What was I looking at here? Does it say where would DL1 be? So that's Ubuntu. This one I know will be Debian. Amazon Linux 2. Product details. Yeah, this is it. $13 an hour. So, okay, so that's the right one. All right, so let's pull that in. We'll select that. When I took, for what it's worth, so these people, they kill me. So I can't actually run it, even though I went in there and I filled out all the forms saying I wanted to run it. I can't run it. So what happens here is my account, because these things are so expensive, I can't do it. Does that make sense? You literally have to go another step in order to be able to do it. But whatever. Deal, is there a DL1 there? Oh, okay. Maybe I can do it. Okay, so let's try it. All right, it's the DL1, has SSD, 98 CPUs. Review, and this is like, it's like, I really don't even want to do this, because if you make a mistake, it's going to be like big bucks. No, I can't even do it. So look, I still can't even do it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll try to launch it and see what happens. I got to create a key pair. I'm actually going to choose an existing. All right, I'm going to create a new one. So this will be called, what is it called? What is this? This is the deep learning Habana. All right, so let me show in folder. I'm going to move this. Let me edit it. Open with view file. Okay. God, I can't remember how I'm going to do this, but let's see. We've created a new key pair. We're going to do RSA. Let me read something for a second before I do this. Let's see if I got any notes on this. I don't have anything on EC2 here. I thought I had something on EC2. Nothing on EC2. All right, we'll just wing it. We'll wing it. All right, so all it is a private key. So let me put it in the proper place. Copy. Paste. And while that's looking, let me see. I know I've got some notes someplace on how to do this, Yeah, it's just SSI and it's going to be EC2 user. All right, so let's try this. All right, and then we're going to be C2 user. All right, so all right. Okay, all right, well, someplace he's around. Let's go back. Maybe it didn't actually go through. These are instances which are like if you're doing Elastic Beanstalk or you're doing, I think, Amplify. Those are what's, behind them. This is him right here. So he doesn't have a name, which seems kind of weird. It's still initializing. So let's see when he gets up. Yeah. Okay. Public IP. So there's the public IP. You can't copy. Well, that's odd. My Control C, that's not going to work. Control C. Running. Okay, so change mode, group other minus rewrite execute. Okay, there we are. So now we're on this expensive machine. I'm surprised it doesn't have a host name, but there we are. Let's make a directory progs, cd progs. And this is a public repo. So code, copy. So that's working. I've got some of the tools that I know that we're going to use. It should complete rather quickly. Well, this is good. I was kind of concerned that maybe I didn't have the permissions because when we looked, it wasn't there. But then when we actually clicked on it, it was there. So that's good. Raja, are you there? By the way, your mic is muted. We've only talked via chat. We haven't really been talking about the actual dev post entry. And now that you're here, and that's how we got in touch with each other. Wanted to know if you what you had thought. No space left on the device. Well, you only have 8 gigs. Okay. All right. Well, this ain't going to work. So we're going to do this. We're going to hit Control D and go back. We've got to make it more expensive than what it currently is. So I think we need to stop it. Instance state, stop the instance. As soon as it's stopped, we'll try to increase the storage. How big is my current? So the repo itself is like 6 gig. All right. So we'll just double it. And we'll have get some space.
Is that because of the training data? Is that why it's so big? The images?
Possibly, and I've just got like so much stuff there. If we do this, we can kind of see. The way, not a summary. Let's do it like this. We'll see what's big. So the docs, what we'll just do is this. So the Git repo itself is pretty big. I guess we're not going to have to do this. A lot of stuff in Git repo. As far as, oh, you see the sort is not the best sort, right? So let's do this. Rep meg. Got 100 and so this is something I pulled down recently that added to it. Basically, I found that there's a guy at Berkeley who has a class. In that class, he has a zip file. He doesn't have a GitHub repo. And so rather than trying to link to a GitHub repo, I just put his zip file in the directory. It's 117 meg. You got 100, and here he is again. And this is on PyTorch. So he has a mix of PyTorch, TensorFlow, and mxnet. But I think it's worthwhile keeping around, right? But he's got a lot of stuff. When I did it as Coursera, there's 133 megs. I've got a little bit of videos, 142 megs. You've just got stuff everywhere, right? You got a lot of, here's some more 35. So that's from that guy's repo. That probably takes up way too much space. The Python directory itself is 0.5 gig, but in that 0.5 gig, I think it's this guy's stuff, right? If I hadn't put that in there, it would have been probably been better off. It's probably a mistake putting it in there. But whatever, so we're there. Let's get the storage. We'll try to bump up the size. So I think we got to do like an edit. Instance settings. I never do stuff with EC2 instances, so I don't really, I like using the microservices. Capacity reservation. I don't know if that's it. Image and templates. Nope. How do you edit the size of it? Any of you guys out there know how to edit your disk size? I'm assuming you guys know more about EC2s than I do. This would be, see if we can do it from here. There's got to be a way to add size to it. Block.
What happens if you click on the volume? Does it let you?
Where do you see volume here?
Yeah, you were just it was just on the screen. There.
So it's attached. Edit. Nope. Maybe we click here. Modify. Yep, there we go. So we'll jump this up to 16 gig. There was probably something there that you needed to read. Yada, yada, yada. I didn't read it. It's also interesting. It's in different regions. We really only need it in one region. So one of the things is if we get, so I'm going to get this working, and then I need to modify the kill switch to make sure this guy doesn't run out of control. But I really want to talk about the linear algebra stuff, which is what I've been working on. Still modifying it. Still modifying. We'll hit refresh. See if he's finished. Nope. I wonder. Maybe I should just go ahead and show you kind of what I'm doing while we're waiting on this. So I prefer not to have my overall environment dorked with, so I do like that. and then activate. Let's hit tab and stuff. So now I've got that virtual environment, and then notebook. It'll come right up. And basically I've got, so as far as doing, let me show you. I'm gonna pull this up anyway. So basically this notebook, I just like did a type along with the other guy from his Berkeley class. And that was really just kind of like to become familiar with stuff. And this is mxnet. This is just linear algebra. It's only mxnet, right? There's no numpy. So these are all ND arrays. And I just basically did his thing. I did some latex trying to, because I like documenting stuff, and having the ability to do the latex in there makes it a little helpful. And then last night I've added, so I will add stuff to it. And so trying to get some of the indexing in there, I found an example, which is this one, where the guy is updating. He's going to create a new matrix, but he's selecting results of the matrix from another ND array. And I was having problems with that. I mean, I can do all these things, like, you know, this kind of stuff. I know how to do that, but those are not ND arrays, right? I know how to slice them, yada, yada, yada. But as far as doing something like this, I didn't know how to do. And here I'm trying to highlight in this picture that I made. He's going to create a new matrix of the original matrix, which is this one, and he's going to update it with the rows and the columns using these two different terms, so that this result comes from these items, and these items are picked based upon the red index saying what the rows are and what the columns are from another guy. And and why am I doing that? Because in this second version, we'll take a look and see if this is still working. Okay, that's done. So I'll get back to that. But here in this second, move it over. Let's run all this. Actually, we'll run it down to here. So we'll run it to this bit of code here. And I'll just explain what's going on for a second. All right, so the testing to get the indices correct. I'm just creating a input array. So this would be like an image. The image is going to be 4 pixels. And the 4 pixels have a value of 0, 1, 2, and 3. It has an extra one for like the batch, so that you could literally say, I'm going to create 2 images, and the second image would be here, right? But I'm literally only doing 1 image, so you're only seeing 1 set of data that's 2 by 2. And then create a output array, a place to put it, which is the same thing. So I'm trying to model, you're going to have multiple images that you're going to rotate. I've got a rotate image. And then it's not like Python, where, you know, you do 4 loops and say for every loop I'm going to do a multiply and yada yada yada. This is mxnet, right? It's kind of like if you're writing code for the cell processor back in the day, you kind of pipeline things. So I've got an iterator, and it uses the batch. I don't use the labels. If you were like doing label data, you could kind of do that. Also, now I know we're going to have to wait again. So if we've done that, let me back it up. We need to go back to the instance and launch it, and that's going to take a bit of time. So where is it? Launch. Instance state, start the instance. That should have said 16 there, by the way. That. Hold on a second. While we're waiting for this to launch. Is 16 there? When we go back, why is this still on 8? Okay, it's 16 now. Okay, good. So that's while that's starting. All right, so that's starting. So anyway, basically, this is showing you that this is you're going to go through all the images in that iterator. So this is kind of like a for loop there. And then you're going to say for the current batch, which would be the current image, because, and there's only one in there, but you still have to dereference because the data that's coming in is all the data. I don't know why but that's just the way it is. If you were actually to print this out, you would see that you've got that first entry there. And then I'm using, this is from the Contrib API to get the indexes from it. And there's 3 axes, right? You've got the batch axis, you got the X axis, you got the Y axis, and I'm getting those indices. Then I'm going to reshape the original indices and put them as like you're going to have 4 rows of 2 columns. And then you're going to convert them to float 32s because they're not floats originally. They're int 64s. I don't, and then like when you do matrix multiplication, if you just do a star, it's an element-wise multiplication. I need to be doing true matrix multiplication. I'm not sure why in a video the guy was putting a transpose. I think maybe because of the shape of the array he had wrong, but my arrays are in the proper shape, so I definitely don't need to transpose it. But I do need to do a matrix multiply. And so on the left side are the original indices, and on the right side is the rotate matrix. And I renamed everything in here as with a suffix of data, just so it'd be consistent, even though these things are global. So like you'll see rotate 90 gets assigned to rotate data. And then I rewrite them to int 64. And so I've got them. So here, if you look at the indices, as a result of doing your multiplies, when you do the rotate, this is where they are. And then if you adjust them so that they're all positive, I see I actually done that wrong. So in reality, this should be 0, 1. Let's do that over. So now all these indices are positive. And so it's what it's saying here is the thing that was at 0, 0 should be at 0, 1. The thing that was at 0, 1 should be at 1, 1. The thing that was at 0, row 0, column 0, 1 should be 0, 0, and 0 and 1, 1 should be at 1, 0. In summary, the out data is currently just initialized. The input data looks like this, and I'm trying to, and then here are the original indices. They've been rewritten, but I can't get it. I can't get the indices back, and I'm still trying to learn how to do it. And I found this guy, which is that example, which looks pretty good. And basically, these are just other failures trying to do it that failed. And then the current thing I'm working on is the thing up above. Those are all just failures. so I'm grabbing pieces, but I haven't got it right. It's running. All right, so let's try to see if we can't get it back over there. So we're on this one. See if we can SSH back to him. That should be working immediately. Why is that not working? I think the reason it's not working is because we filled up the disk space and I didn't delete what was there. So there's no writable instance. That's just grand. So we just wasted money right there and wasted time. All right, so I don't know how to recover it other than just delete it. So let me delete it and we'll come back to it. So stop the instance. You understand what I'm saying? We had the instance, it was running. We tried to pull that GitHub. The GitHub filled up the disk space because the disk space was completely filled. And then I exited the instance. The disk space was still filled. We made the instance bigger, but it's probably screwed up something, right? So say la vie, we'll just stop it. I don't know how to recover it, and we'll just the quick way will just be to restart it. So we're definitely stopping it. It's still stopping. Yeah. All right. So once it's stopped, whatever. We'll go ahead and launch a new one. All right. So launching a new one. Launch instances. All right. It's Habana. Habana. Let's do this one. Still $13, but I want to make sure I set the disk space correct. We had to do this one to get the DL1. We're going to make sure we don't have multi-region. I don't want multi-region. Where would that be?
I don't know, but the next option is add storage.
Okay. Well, it should have a GPU already in it. I don't think that we have to. We'll see what it says. All right. I really don't need it to be this big. So let's try to let's make it less. Let's just make it 16 so it's not as expensive. There is nothing here on GPU settings, so I guess it already has a GPU in there. All right, add storage. Let's make it 16. SSD, it's not encrypted. Don't have any file systems. I would imagine it would put a file system on there. I don't know enough about it. Add tags, security group, review and launch. Do we have an existing security group? Because if we just use we'll just use that one. I think if we do that, then when we get to the point where we should be able to use the same PIM file. We'll see if we can use, so let's see if we have the same pair. Yep. So we should be able to use the same one once it launches. We don't have very many minutes left, but we'll see what he run when he comes up. So while we're waiting on that, if you're interested in how this stuff works, I can show you that I did do a little bit. I did a notebook on it. As far as what I was trying to say there, and it should be a PDF up here. So basically my goal is I'm trying to do a rotate. We'll let that come up. Give it a second. Why am I rotating? You know, I showed you the picture when the snow gets on there, the little tracks of snow and the ice. It just, you know, it's just, the model sucked, right? And part of the reason why the model sucked is because the angle of the image was like so. And so I was trying to identify the snow and ice in the edge of the road and the little, and I didn't, you know, here I'm not even putting all the ice, I was just drawing it. You had too many of these, you had too many bounding boxes, so you couldn't draw all the ice that was in the picture, and much less it is cumbersome, right? It takes a long time to draw out all this stuff. And the end result was the dotted lines came out as ice. So you can't draw bounding boxes at an angle. So what I was trying to do was take all the images and rotate them. When they're rotated, then you could draw a bounding box. That's a nice square. This picture's got too much perspective in it, so I can't just draw a square bounding box that goes up along the edge. But this is a picture. In the real camera angles, I think you can. So how do you rotate an image? All I'm trying to show you is here's what an image is stored as. I'm going to say this is just a 1-bit image. So a 1-bit image will just have a 1 and a 0. I lost on Nick Shauna on that one. I'm gonna blame her, blame him, whatever. You have an image as 1 bit. Well, you can't access 1 bits. You access them as a byte. Well, if you have a byte, looks like so. Bytes, you can kind of get some grayscale, but it's not like this. It's actually opposite. And why would it be opposite? Because you've got color. Color, you get shades of gray by a bunch of different colors, right? That kind of looks gray, yada, yada, yada. You could encode them like this, and maybe that's actually how it is, but in Python, it's going to be in terms of channels. And so you'll have, for a color image, you'll have a height and a width, and you'll have 3 different values for the 3 different arrays. They typically put the channel in the front. And like I was saying, you've got batches. So remember that that array was like a 1, 2, 2. In reality, it's like number of images, which is your batch. your number of channels, which is how many colors, and then you've got your height and width. Height corresponds to rows, width corresponds to columns. You're probably familiar with that. So now I'm just saying, like, okay, let's not do it that way and have all that in there. Let's go back and simplify it so you know how to do it, and then we can look at a rotate. And we got like 9 minutes. I'll come back to this. Let's see if this guy's launched. All right, he's running again. Let's see if we can connect. Oh, that's probably the wrong IP address. The public IP, we'll just look at it rather than try and copy and paste it. .206. 206. 64.86. And there we are. Okay, sweet. Make a progs directory. CD to progs. Git clone. See if we'll be able to clone him now. Don't have the URL. So ideally, I would do it with with SSH shells. I don't have the SSH shells in there now, but I can, and my keys, but I can put those back in later. I can pull it like this, and then I can fix it. We'll see if he's able to install. We got 7 minutes. He's pulling the data down relatively fast, so that's impressive. All right, so while that's running, I'll just show you the math a little more again. So anyway, so basically for a 2D, this is the rotation matrix. You can look it up on Wikipedia. One thing to keep in mind is these two axes are the same. These are opposite, right? And there's different ones if you're like doing a 3D rotation, and then when you're rotating, it's about a particular axis. We don't have to worry about that, but that would basically, you're going to add another row here and another column, and I believe it's 0, 0, 0, 0, and this is 1 for whatever axis, or it's that for if you're on x-axis, which is kind of the same here. If you're doing these will turn out to be 1 a lot, and it kind of makes like an identity matrix. And basically, I'm just trying to show you how you can get what the numbers are. So these are the base rotations, 0, 90, 180, 270. But you're not rotating the image pixel values, you're rotating the indices. So you got to like take those indices. We'll come back to that. All right, so this is up. So that's good. I know like we're going to have to sudo apt-get install some things. Let's put it back. Let's see what we have to install. Just see if we can do some of these stuff. We don't need all of this stuff, but we're going to get IDE Python. I'm not sure if we need that, but I do know that we need this. We're not going to be, in other words, we're not going to be running. This doesn't have apt-get. What the fuck? Hold on a second. I thought we picked a Debian box. Let's see. These. That's what uname is. Uname-a. The Linux box. It's like a Amazon Linux. Possibly that's what it is. I know nothing about Amazon Linux. Is it Red Hat? Oh my God. It's Red Hat. Oh my God. Okay, so we're not using this one. Okay, so I don't know jack about Red Hat other than I've had to work on it, and I'm not a big fan of RPMs. I've built RPMs. I loathe them. So we got to blow this one away. Why didn't it say like Red Hat right at the beginning? I wish it would have said that. I thought Linux would be Debian. So whatever. So I'll do that. I'll get it up and running. I'm going to have to redo it. But the bottom line is on this here, we're doing the indices, right? So I went through, I showed you, this is your original. When you do the rotate, I did the first one as a 180. So you can see how you're going to multiply it. And since these values are essentially the same, right? You're going to have, remember this is what the picture is like, right? So this is going to have a square. There's your square. This is going to have nothing. That's your nothing. Your pixel that has a square there is there. But I want to try to keep track of what pixel is what, right? So when you rotate 180 degrees, that's 90. That's another 90. The center pixel stays the same, but that pixel that's there is going to be coming down, right? The pixel that is here, he's going to hit all the way over. Did I do 180 or 90? I think I did 90. Let's see, 0. So pardon me, I said 180, it's 90. I go through and I do them all, right? And then you're saying, well, hey, dude, why is it that I see this? You know, you said 90 degrees. 90 degrees would really rotate up, right? Well, there's a couple of other tricks going on here. First off, this is in the lower quadrant. So in your, you know, as you're looking at it, you're in a quadrant system and you're thinking 90 degrees going up, where this is increasing and this is increasing, but you're in the image coordinate system. In the image coordinate system, it's 0, 0 here. It goes positive for columns there, and it goes positive down for rows. So considering you're in a different thing, I'm not going to go through all the math, just take it away that minus 90 is reversed, right? Then I was like, okay, well, does it work for minus 180? Yep. Does it work for bigger arrays? Here's a huge array. If you're multiplying by the identity matrix, negative identity with the -1 in there, that's a full 180. I can do that relatively quickly in my head by just saying everything that's on this side goes to the right except it's negative, right? So you can do that quickly. And you can then plot these guys down and you can see it comes over. And I'm saying if that doesn't make enough sense about how to do it, and you want to make it more like some generic thing, you can do this, but I'm not going to do all that math in my head with a big array, but I will do it on a 3 by 3 array.